Fingerstyle Thursday birthday. Okay, so let's talk about today's piece, okay? Because like I said, it's a special one. It is the year anniversary of Fingerstyle Thursday, which is crazy. So actually, what I've done is it's sort of a throwback to Fingerstyle Thursday number 20, when I first decided to kick off the Fingerstyle Thursday freebie stuff with the picking. Now, I've also given us an alternate tuning for today. This is called drop F tuning, which basically just means your G string needs to be tuned to an F note, so it's a tone lower, okay? Now there's a couple of different ways you can do that. Usually the clip-on tuners are very easy. That will tell you. If you're lucky to have a roadie, then you can program FCEA in and it will do the job for you. But if not, you can use a website such as UkeBuddy or anything on their chromatic tuners. You just have to make sure this is an F, and it should sound the same as the first fret on the second string, which is an F. They should be the same. So today's piece on the left hand focuses very much on double stops, just like we did last week, okay? I think they're a really important thing to utilize on the ukulele, and because we've only got 4 strings, if you can take up the middle 2 strings and then leave these 2 kids open, as long as you're in a friendly key, such as C or F or G or anything like that, then you can create these really nice voicings of these instead. So that's quite nice, okay? So actually the first shape that we're gonna play is basically 5 and 5, and that's on the 3rd string and the 2nd string. Right there. Now I would always use my middle finger for the 3rd string, that's one, and then my ring finger for the 2nd string. Now our aim here is again to make it nice and legato, so actually between every single chord your middle finger will never leave the fretboard, so keep him glued. Okay, so that is our first chord, which is basically sort of an F major as an E shape here, but I'm just leaving an open A, which equals a double stop. Now the picking pattern, we're in playing 16ths, 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. So simply, we're just going to pick 4, 3, 2, 1. So that for me, that's thumb, thumb, index, middle. 1 E and a. And because there's 4 blocks of 16th notes in the bar, that means we have to play that 4 times. 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a. So if you're not used to using your thumb quickly like that for those 2 strings, just give that a blast first. Speed is never relevant in these things, but accuracy is, so spend your time with that. Okay, so from this position, we're basically going to move down a fret. Now we have to create more of a minor shape. So actually that means that your middle finger stays, so that'll be, we've moved down a fret to the 4th fret. But then your index finger is going to take over on the 3rd fret on the 2nd string. So you've got open, 4, 3, open, which is blurring the boundaries of chords, and that's why I haven't put any chord names on the sheet for these. I put the chord boxes so you can see what they look like, but yeah, there's too many complications when it comes to chords. So there we go, that's our kid. And again, we're going to go 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a, with that kid. We're going to keep this exact same shape and bring it down 2 frets. So it sort of feels like a D minor 11 shape, which actually in this key is a D minor. And again, we're going to pick out the same. 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a. Next, we're going to come to this chord, which is actually an F add 9, but but in this key it's just an F. So that's why. With alternate tuning, sometimes it's hard to name chords. But basically it's just index finger on the second string, first fret. So for this one, we're only going to pick this for 2 of the 16th. So we're going to go 1, E and A, 2, E and A. Then we're going to let go and take advantage of this tuning. Because actually when you strum this chord, F, A, C, E, F, C, E, A, I'm saying it as a piano, it's an F major 7 chord. So that's why some people might call it F major 7 tuning, but I prefer to call it drop F, because you drop that string to an F. Okay, anyway, so for that bar, we have sort of the F add 9 for 1 E and a 2 E and a, 1 E and a, 2 E and a, then we let go, 3 E and a, 4 E and a. Now when I'm playing the piece, I always have a little slow down there. So I sort of go 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a, before coming to my next chord shape. One, it gives you a little bit of a breather for that jump, but also it sounds quite expressive, which is good. Okay, next we have to do quite a large jump, so if you do have a little slow down there, it's nice. Middle finger on the 10th fret, and then we're going to put our index finger, so it's going to be a 2 fret gap this time, on the 8th fret, which is almost a B flat sus chord. But that's it. If you want to use your ring finger for that, that's absolutely fine because you don't like the stretch. But the only reason I advise using your middle finger is because it's basically easier to get between the rest of the chords. So once we're there, we're going to do the same picking. 1 E and A, 2 E and A, 3 E and A, 4 E and A. And then we're going to go back to our minor shape, which is basically 7 and 6. And that's what I mean, if you're using those 2 fingers, you just sort of bring them back down. If you're using your ring finger, that's absolutely fine. You just have to sort of, I'd bring your index to the 7th first and then drop your middle on like that. Okay, same. 1 E and A, 2 E and A, 3 E and A, 4 E and A, which comes from a G minor-esque shape. And then lastly, we're actually going for an F major, which is usually a bar chord like this, where you bar the entire 5th fret and then put your pinky on the 8th. But because we have a nice F note here, we're just going to bar basically the top 3 strings and then put our pinky on the 8. So we have 0, 5, 5, 8. So again, we're going to play an entire bar like that. 1 E and A, 2 E and A, 3 E and A, 4 E and A. And the last chord is an F major 7. 2 ways of doing this. Now, I would take over, basically, the bar doesn't move, but on the 1st string, you take over the 7th fret. So I use my ring finger for that. But you could also move your pinky down if you prefer. I just find that a little bit more awkward. But sometimes I also do it, so don't trust me. Okay, so play your F. And then for your F major 7, we're basically going to play 1 E and A, 2 E and A, 3. And we'll just pause on that open F string there. 1 E and A, 2 E and A, 3. And there we go. That is our whole entire piece. So in my playthrough at the very start, basically once you ended, I then go straight back from the start and I play the entire thing again. I haven't written a repeat on the sheet because it's not necessary, okay? I think if you want to perform it as a nice piece, I would play it twice because it just sounds better. But if you're just doing this as practice for fingerstyle, or the whole thing is kind of daunting, then just aim to do it once and that would absolutely do the job. That's it. Doesn't matter whether you do it once or twice. That would be it. That's absolutely it. Okay, as usual, you can get the sheets over on my Patreon. I also have MP3s and slowed down MP3s so you can listen to everything. If this lesson was helpful to you, please consider liking and subscribing this video. It massively helps me out. And it's nice to see the numbers. All right, fantastic. Have a good Thursday, kids.